Hi, everyone.
Hi, everyone.
Welcome to the Queens, Kings, and Things panel, hosted by the Stream Queens. Oh, nobody likes them. Okay, all right. My name's Chelora. I'm a trans woman drag streamer, and my pronouns are she, they, and I'm a drag queen. That's how we're introducing ourselves: name, pronouns, and what kind of drag you do. We're gonna go alphabetically. I feel like that's the best and most fashionable way to introduce people. So we're gonna start with Arson.
Oh, that's me.
Did you get the pun?
Yeah, I sure did.
Okay.
Hi, everyone. My name is Arson Nicki. My pronouns are she and they. A lot of people try to put me in like an alternative drag box. I would describe what I do as post-drag. So ponder that one.
So you deliver mail.
Exactly, yes. I am employed by the USPS, thank you.
Faster than FedEx.
Precisely.
Next we have...
Hello, everyone.
Pink.
My name is Hot Pink Shade. Oh, sorry.
I
know my alphabet.
Yeah, I don't. I was about to go next.
Shut up.
I don't know my alphabet.
My name is Hot Pink Shade. My pronouns are they, them. And my style of drag is very gender fluid, androgynous, very K-pop inspired. It's like a mix of K-pop, hip-hop, and just Black excellence and a lot of dance. So,
Oh, yeah.
Kiyoshi.
You say my name? Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Kiyoshi YoRHa. I go by they, them, any pronouns. And I kind of consider myself a drag artist, but I am dipping my toes into drag king. That's it. Hi.
And last but not least, Prince Harming.
Hi, I'm Prince Harming. I'm a drag king. I go by he or they pronouns. And my drag aesthetic is mostly just 80s vampire drag king.
Word. Support your kings, y'all. So before I get on to our first questions, just letting everyone know that we are doing a Q&A after the panel. And there's a microphone on this side and this side, so you can line up towards the end of the panel, which is about like 40 minutes. Yeah. About 40 minutes in, thank you. You're wonderful. Thank you for letting me know.
It's usually the problem with like Twitch anyways. No one doesn't tell us that our mic is too loud.
That's true.
True. And we'll go there completely quiet, just like Amanda Express. The deep cut.
Yeah, deep cut.
And then after this panel, we'll be doing autographs or photographs in the room over there, whatever that's called. So we're first going to start with the discussion on the ins and outs of drag. Kind of the discussion of what our favorite things about drag are and what our least favorite things about drag are. What are the downsides or shortcomings? For me, the shortcomings are people are kind of mean. A lot of people think they have jurisdiction to talk about like what is good drag and what is bad drag, and then never do it at all. But the positives for me is that I love the gender expression. I love getting dressed up and feeling absolutely fierce, and just having a really good time, having fun, and being trans things, trans rights.
Yes.
Who wants to nab that question? Don't be shy.
I can start if that's okay. So I would say that for me, it's actually like the positives and the negatives are kind of the same. Whereas, like, I would say drag is a very powerful tool. It's like the world's biggest microphone if you're a queer person. Like when you dress like this and you are out and about, or you are on a microphone, or you're just like randomly walking down, Pine in public, people pay attention to what you are doing and what you have to say in a way that's very like visibly queer. Like a lot of times, outside of the whole like, is she, those types of situations, like for the most part, like a lot of us can sort of like fly under the radar and people don't necessarily clock us as queer. Some of us, not all of us. But when you look like this, like, people know, which is a cool thing. And so it gives visibility to queerness that otherwise might not be there, but then that can sort of be flipped on its head, where if someone is maybe using their platform for not amazing purposes, or if you become a target because of that visibility, that can sort of flip on its head really quickly. So doing drag effectively for me is all about making sure that you're in control of that sort of thing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Kiyoshi, you're next.
I would say that it helped with my, just getting into masculinity, because, even like femininity too, because I used to do drag queen looks too. I never got into my body, and I'm wearing a breastplate, and that's probably the negative, by the way. Wearing this muscle suit is sweaty. I do not recommend it. I think it looks good, but yeah, I like that I can finally get into masculinity and not in like a toxic way, if that makes any sense. But yeah, I think that's what's cool about like the ends of our these doing drag king looks. That's it.
Harming.
Well, I like, my favorite things about drag are, of course, like I love the makeup artistry, I love the costuming, I love entertaining people, and I like, just being able to be flashy and noticeable. The things I don't like are, if it's hot outside, it's not great. But,
This is very specific for today,
today,
by the way.
Just something tells me this is on the brain like right now for you.
I am very hot.
You are?
You are.
Thank you.
Oh, that's it?
That's it.
Hot pink.
Just like it.
I think my favorite thing about doing drag is giving the audience a show, being able to perform and dance and lip sync and fling my hair. And I'm getting freaking paid for it. Like, hello? Like, and that money is pretty damn good, too. And it's just, there's no greater feeling to me than being paid for doing what you love. It's like, it's everything. But the negatives is, as a Black performer, people like to gatekeep. People like to tell you what you can and cannot do, what music you can and cannot lip sync to. People like to erase your visibility and then dress it up as something that it's not, when it's just like, clearly your intentions are speaking for themselves, but because you don't want to look like a bad person, you're just gonna say it is A, B, and C, when it's just like, no, D, E, F, U. That's honestly, for me, the biggest negative, but I keep doing what I do because the positives clearly outweigh the negatives, because that bag is pretty. Yeah, and that's it.
Oh,
Sorry.
That wasn't
That's it.
Oh, thank you. Next, we're going to have like a little bit of a longer discussion about representation in the media. When I say media, I mean like comic books, music, movies, shows, anime, manga, writing, reading, whatever. Because that's what PAX is, right? Right, okay, thank you. Just checking, like we're in the right place. So for me, a good example of queerness represented in media versus how it could be represented better is, I don't know if anyone's watched the new Harley Quinn animated series. I'm not going to spoil it for nobody, but there are some bisexual characters, and I think they portrayed the characters really well, and I feel like bisexual or bisexuality is something that a lot of the queer community struggles with accepting for some reason. Having a bisexual partner, I resonate with that, and I'm like, they can like both. Like, I was a man and he loved me then, and I'm a woman now and he still loves me now. I think that's pretty good. Thank you.
Way to flex, Chelora. Way to flex.
But in the show, they show it really clearly. Like, there's no confusion. It's just, we like this and we like that, and it's cool. So I think that's a pretty good representation. In terms of how media could do it better, I think that we definitely need to get some more trans people of color in video games, in manga, in all sorts of places, just all over the whole board. Arson, you want to go?
Yeah, I feel like I might be pandering here when I say that I think video games are kind of an amazing place to be queer, because in a lot of places that's like not actually true. But like when you're actually sitting down in front of your PC, firing something up, there is nothing more trans than being asked what your gender is at the very beginning of the video game. And getting to be like, I'm this today. And the video game will never misgender you. That is like, cis people like take that for granted. Like getting told like she by the video game constantly is like very euphoric. But also like more specifically, like I don't know if anyone in here has played Tell Me Why, the Don't Nod game. One of my favorite games of the past couple of years. And it tells like a very specific story for a very specific person who happens to be trans, and it figures very much into the storytelling. And the choices you actually make like throughout the game, it's one of those like choose your own adventure, like it dictates the ending sort of deal. But it really forces you to engage with the realities, the very real lived realities of this particular character. And I think that encourages empathetic choice making in a way that you wouldn't necessarily have to engage with if you were, watching a movie or a television show. So I think there's more ground to be broken there. I think we could be doing even more of that kind of stuff, but it's a start.
Even Elden Ring and Pokemon, like type A, type B does not cut it.
Yeah.
Truly.
We know what you mean. Kiyoshi?
Yeah, I would probably say in media, I kind of feel like Sense8 has a good representation for queer characters, at least. There's a trans lesbian character in there, as well as a gay character, and like the emotional steps and anxiety that the gay character goes through was something that actually broke me. Like I never cried before, and I'm like raised as like masculine AMAB person and told not to cry, not to feel my emotions. And when I saw Lido tell his mom that he is queer, I sobbed and I was like, what is happening? Why is this happening? And I was like, and that really like triggered like something within me with my queerness. And I think that definitely is a good representation, I feel. I think what a media probably should do is make it explicit in a way. I know it's like there's like double negatives for like stating that a character is a queer person, whether it be trans, lesbian, non-binary, and whatnot. But like there's some video games, for instance, like Celeste, I believe there are a trans character, and it's never stated for the most part that they are trans, but there is like some symbolism in there that they are, like they have a trans flag on their desk and whatnot. But yeah, I think just like maybe that, just pretty much just like stating that they are, who they are, so that way if there's like clear representation. Yeah,
And
that's it.
actors or voice actors that represent that demographic is important.
Yeah.
Because finding out that like the representation isn't the best, and then the voice actor or the actor is also not a person of that demographic, it's like, well, come on, guys, get it together. Hire us, please. Like, we cry all the time. Like, give us something. Prince Harmony.
Well, I think one thing sort of in general is that we're getting more gay representation, queer representation in media, which is a positive, but it's never really going to be good representation to me until it stops being stigmatized. So it's not really there to just be, to check a box and to really just like place the character there for just like a token reason. So I think we're on the right path, but we're not going to get there until in general in society it becomes way less stigmatized. If that answers the question.
If you're happy with that answer. Is that your final answer?
Am I winning?
You did not win $1 million.
Did I use that lifeline?
Oh, well, you come on in.
Oh, okay, fine. I'm just gonna preface this, by the way. I speak from a very different lens than everyone on this team right now. The only lens I can speak through is from the lens of a Black person. Even though I am multiracial, the world sees me as Black. So I'm just gonna preface this now because no shade. I see a lot of light-skinned and white faces in the audience today, which I am so happy you guys are here because it's a good opportunity to really educate. So use them ears, please. So for me, I think the media, I don't want to say does a good job because I'd be lying if I said that. It is improved at acknowledging the existence of queer people in media. I don't think they do a good job at representing because there's often times where it feels like I'm being pandered to and it's just to fill a status quo. And I'm sorry, I'm not here for that. No. What I would like to see is like authenticity. Like I want to see more drag kings represented in media. Let's be real. We see a whole plethora of drag queens and drag artists that are feminine, and I am so over it. I want to see some drag kings. I want to see some masculine drag representation. I want to see an AFAB trans mask character be put into the forefront. That's what I want to see because it's always about the drag queens or the feminine drag, and it's just like there's more to it than that. It's always about the pageant drag. There's more to it than that. And sorry if this hurts anybody's feelings. No, I'm not. It's always about the white people. It's always about the light-skinned people of color. And I'm sorry. Hello? 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 There are more people than that. So for me, I want to see authentic diversity, not some pandering BS. Ooh. Yeah, you should be proud of me. I caught myself. I didn't cuss.
I'm so proud of you.
I should get $1.
I'll pay you every time. Just kidding. Don't do it.
Huh?
You're going to do it on purpose if I give you money.
I swear for Jesus. But also, just more inclusion too. Like, who has HBO Max? Oh, okay. Who here watches Legendary?
Girl.
I know you do. Okay, one more time. Who here watches Legendary? Keep your hands up. Everybody who doesn't have their hands raised, look around the room. Look around the room. And I bet you, how many people don't watch RuPaul's Drag Race? Holy Jesus. Okay.
Hi, everyone.
Uncultured swine. I mean,
Drag, but not RuPaul.
Thank you.
nobody likes fracking RuPaul. But it's the same category. It's the same cookie cutter BS that's put to the front. Yet Legendary puts ballroom to the forefront. It puts people of color to the forefront. Those were the people that put our community on the map. It started this community. A lot of the gay lingo that people use came from Black women from the South. And that is gay history right there. But people don't want to talk about that. People want to always talk about the people that, no offense, look like Arson, look like Harming, look like Chelora, look like my friends up here. That's what they all talk about. And that's what I'm tired of seeing. I want to see more mask representation like Kiyoshi, like Harming, like these two lovely ones up here. That's what I want to see. I want to see more Black people put to the front, like you. Stand up. Like that one.
Yes!
That's what I want to see. And before I start trying to burn the damn house down, let me stop talking.
You still got lots. You can keep going if you want.
Is it
Yeah.
too early to nominate you for like some sort of office? Because
Please.
that was
No, because trust me, do not do that, because there will be a whole, every conservative within a 3,000-mile radius will be shaking in his or her or their panties. I promise you. I promise you.
Run, please.
I'm not, child, I'm too lazy to run.
We can barely
Like,
walk
wow.
here. No one's running.
Yeah.
Okay, you give me $5, I'll walk fast. All right, chill out.
I also like to look at streamers and content creators as like their own, like a transformative version of media. So like when we get media like, Pokemon or whatever that doesn't necessarily have queer representation, when we stream it, we transform it into queer media. So that's a positive. That's something we do.
Can I say one more thing?
Yeah.
Because this was
We got
something
lots of time. You wanna talk some more?
Something that I feared that we talked about.
What?
This was something that I feared that we talked about.
Yeah.
Another thing I want to see, and this is something I challenge each and every light-skinned person of color and white person in here to watch out for. When a Black person, especially a queer, Black, AFAB, or woman-identifying person, when they speak out of emotion, whether it be anger, whether it be sadness, whether it be fear, and they speak up for themselves, I want to stop this BS about the angry Black girl. Because a lot of what I wanted to say today, I almost didn't say. I'll be honest, part of me did not even want to do this. And I do drag. I slam my pussy on the damn ground for money, okay? And I did not want to do this and get attention on me because I was scared of that stereotype. And that's messed up when all somebody is doing. We're gonna take questions afterwards, honey.
Yes.
Sorry.
It will be at the end. We'll have questions at the end.
But that is my biggest thing. Because a person, like, if everybody else has the right to express their emotions with no judgment, for the most part, why can't a Black person? So all you light skins and white people out there, at the end of the day, I can be honest and say, I don't give a damn what you think about me. I really don't. I'll struggle just so those who look like me later won't have to. But I challenge the hell out of all of y'all to make sure that kind of stereotype don't happen anymore. And that's on period.
Yes.
Thank you for coming, Hot Pink.
You're welcome.
I really
I love
appreciate
you.
you bringing all this with you. I know it stressed the hell out of you.
Oh, child.
And it's a good thing that pussy isn't a swear word.
Oh, shoot. Never mind. You keep that.
It's fine.
You keep that $5. Never mind. It's all
I
right.
said it with my full chest right into the microphone.
well, we're trying to do a panel in a God-honoring way today, so Lord have mercy.
We didn't say which
but-
God.
We still got lots of time. I'm so surprised. Y'all got right through this.
We like actually prepared. Can you believe it? Drag people preparing.
I know. It's like I asked you all these questions right before we left.
Chelora
wasn't rehearsal.
Chelora kept being like, did you prepare your questions? Did you prepare your questions? And look where we are.
Child, she was cracking the whip on. Ooh, I shouldn't say that. Hold on.
Did we do questions now?
Christ, lighten up.
I got your questions left. Thank you, Kiyoshi.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to ask everybody in a little bit of a lighthearted version of the conversation, how they got their drag name or how they came up with it, and how long it takes them to get into drag was your question. We're going to go backwards. Hot Pink, do you want to go first? I know you don't.
We're going backwards.
No, keep me last. I just got done talking. No.
Okay, well, my name is Chelora, and apparently that's a village in India. I didn't know. They have a soccer team now. I keep tabs. And every once in a while, someone will misspell cholera, and it's me on Twitter. So that's my legacy. But I got my name when I was 10 years old. I wanted to sign up for Adventure Quest, and I was like, Chi like energy, and lore like history. And then I was like, but I want it to be girly, so I put an A at the end. And that's what I got. And it takes me approximately, I like to take 3 hours to get ready. I go from like the top of my head to the bottom of my head, which is a weird process. Most people do their whole foundation and then do eyes, or eyes and then whole foundation, like one eye. You know what I mean. And but today and yesterday was an hour.
We were Russian.
I was Russian, but I'm not Russian. I'm Canadian. Thank you.
Moving on. So I think drag names kind of like mark generations. So like, I would say some of the oldest generations of drag have drag names like Susan Devereaux, like names. I feel like I come from a generation where it's like it must be a pun name and it has to be obvious. I think the generation that came afterwards is like inanimate objects, like tissue. And am I wrong? And I think the latest generation of drag artists is just like unintelligible screaming, like it's not even like a name, it's just like
Or unrealistic brand.
I love your new name.
I follow her on Twitter.
Yes, that's my new name. Thank you. Taking this opportunity to announce that. So obviously, mine comes from the pun name. It's a pun on the word arsenic, which sometimes takes people a while to latch onto, which is fine. Like we all live life at our own pace.
Wait, really? Hold on, really?
What was that?
Oh, did it take you forever to figure it out?
Today years old.
I thought it was like arse.
Hot Pink and I have known each other for like 5 years. I love you so much. So yeah, I wanted something that sounded like dangerous, but also like punny, and that's what it is, Arson Nicki.
How long does it take you to do drag?
Oh, how long does it take me to drag? I did my face in 30 minutes before we got here. 30 minutes flat. You can't tell because it's covered, but like, trust me on this one. I have witnesses to back me up.
It's true. It was in my kitchen. Kiyoshi?
My name came from my nickname, at least I changed it in high school, was Kiyo. And then when I did drag queen looks, I was thinking of like femme names. And then I just stumbled upon Kiyo and She, and then I just put them together, and then Kiyoshi. And then coincidentally, it also comes from Avatar: The Last Airbender for Avatar Kiyoshi. Yes! Queen Diva, love her. And I kind of just put YoRHa in there because I felt like it fit, and I'm a fan of Nier Automata. And yeah, Kiyoshi YoRHa. And then I think today, I think it took about 2 hours. And then getting in here getting in this bodysuit took about like 2 minutes, but I regret it because seriously, y'all, it is sweaty down here. I do not like it.
You've got like veins, and I'm trying to figure out if these are like real or
They are coming
painted
through
on.
this 2-inch silicone for sure. Yeah.
Those are gummy worms.
But yeah, that's it.
Harming.
Well, my name is Prince Harming, and once upon a time before I was hanging out with drag queens, I was hanging out with roller derby girls. And so I used to do roller derby. And when you're in roller derby, it's much the same thing with names. So I went through many different names, thinking about different puns. I was going to be Fleetwood Smack, or yeah, I could have been Fleetwood Smack. But I settled on Prince Harming because it was easy, and people still mess it up.
Are you still easy? Are you still easy?
I mean, I got a ring now.
Oh, guess not.
But yeah, to get into drag, I used to take long. Now I got it down to like 45 minutes if I really need to go. But, I sometimes try to make myself seem like I'm doing more work by making it take like an hour and a half. But it's not that hard.
We can't tell them that. We have to tell them it's hard.
It's so
It's
difficult.
really hard.
It's really
so
hard.
difficult.
I
Oh my
bled
God.
3 times.
Impossible.
I have to put 5 layers of powder over this.
Is that hard?
Yeah,
Oh,
and expensive.
It is expensive.
I have tried king makeup before, and it is hard. It's very different than queen makeup, which is all like round shapes. And king makeup is all these like kind of sharp lines, and it's completely different. And it's very difficult to execute. I encourage people to try it if they haven't tried it. Or queen makeup if they haven't tried it. Drag is for
Yeah.
everyone, just
Yeah.
pointing that out.
You could really do whatever with drag as well. It doesn't have to be queen or king. You could just mess with it, and if you like it, drag.
Drag. Drag them. Hot pink?
Well, hot pink is my favorite color. Yeah, the way I got my name is not interesting at all. And shade is the drag family last name. Oh. Wow, that's a lot more nods than I thought I'd get for that. Wow. Okay. And my name used to be Christian Brown, and Christian is my government name, and Brown is the last name of my former drag mom. So when she retired, I was like, oh, okay, well, screw me and my drag, right? And I ended up getting booked for an event back in 2018. I met one of the organizers. Her name is Kimber Shade, and I told her, I want to be your drag daughter. Period. And she was like, okay, what's your favorite color? I was like, hot pink. She said, okay, I'm gonna book you in February, and if you do a good job, you'll be a hot pink shade. If not, well, good luck to you. And, well, you know how that turned out. And then, yeah, thank you. And then getting in drag takes me about 3.5, 4 hours. This morning, it took me like 30 minutes because I only did my eyes. I had to wear a mask all day, and buying Fenty is not cheap, and that's the foundation I use. So I was like, you know what? Screw it. I'm not putting on any makeup except my eyes, period. So you're all welcome. But when I'm actually getting ready for a show, like getting my costume on, getting my dance belt, my fishnets, then actual like baking and the whole, like all the details I put in my face, takes me about 3.5 hours, 4 hours. I managed to put on lashes without poking myself in the eye, so it is not
struggle.
that bad, Jesus.
I don't know.
It's a lot of years
I've never
of
had them
practice.
that long.
Never mind, I'm not gonna make that
Try
joke.
contact.
It makes going to the bathroom really interesting, I'll tell you that much.
Try contact lenses.
Huh?
Try contact lenses.
I wouldn't wear contact lenses without these. Every time I try to put I tried putting a contact lens in one time. 4 hours for one eye.
What?
Don't judge me. There was a whole lot of whats. You watch your tone. 4 hours for one eye, By the time I was done with it, it looked like my body, like half my body smoked like 4 blunts. And, and the rest of my body was just sober, carrying the other half. Like, yeah, get over here. You're high. You're staying in the room.
Girl, I know you. That's just a Friday night for you.
Saturday.
Thank you.
They can't hear you.
Thank you. Can you hear me all the way down there?
Huh? What? I'm gonna be dead tomorrow, y'all.
We gotta do 3 more days of this.
We do.
You and me.
Oh, shoot.
If y'all want to line up for questions, I would do that now. Who here was at the Stream Queens panel at PAX East? I'm just curious if anyone. No,
No, everyone's here.
All
Cool.
right, y'all don't travel. Got it.
big fans.
No, this is cool. Thank y'all so much for coming.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I do want to just say that I don't want to assume for people with accessibility issues, but if they have questions and you don't want to have to like try to meander on over to a microphone and stand in line forever, we'll be in the other room doing autographs and photos and things, and you can definitely ask us during that time. So go ahead, on the left.
All right. So obviously, streaming drag can be pretty accessible for people with certain physical disabilities, but in what ways would you say that drag could be more accessible to people of all ability levels? And in what ways could you personally think that drag, or you personally could make drag more accessible for people of all ability levels?
That's a really good question, and I think it's a question that needs to be answered, which sounds really obvious, but like, when you go to especially like IRL things and drag, like a lot of the places, it's like, it's a bar, it's 21 plus, the music is loud, there are flashing lights, there's a lot of stuff going on, and that is not an environment for everyone, myself included. I've got to like push through and make it happen in order to collect a check, but we want all types of people to be able to engage with what we're doing. I think, honestly, a lot of it comes down to like throwing things in spaces, in community gathering spaces that aren't bars, which sounds really obvious, but because the culture is so entrenched in, I guess, like being surrounded by alcohol in these types of situations, like it means that people generally don't necessarily think outside the box. Like, can we have like library co-working sessions or like coffee shop meetups or something where like, I don't know, someone buys out the coffee bar and we all get, decaf Americanos and talk about our feelings. Like, there's the sky is the limit, and drag can be anything everywhere. Like, we were in drag out on the street. That's a freaking drag show. Like, let's do something right out there, like after the show. Come on, like let's.
I'm good. I don't want to do that.
But my point is that I just feel like, because of a certain television show, among other things, we've sort of like encased ourselves in this rhinestone box where like there's actually tons of potential, like in public places, in private places, in other planes of existence, right here.
Yeah.
There's a lot of stuff we could do, so let's do it,
Fund
Maybe-
drag slam poetry at your local pet shelter.
Oh my gosh. I would totally go to that.
I'm looking at all the Seattle bars and nightclubs that only have stairs.
Oh,
Which is almost
that's
all of
Is
them.
one
Dang.
step okay? Is one step okay? Can you get up past the one step? It's like, no, not everybody can.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But we do also try to, like you see here in the little videos, some of these are from the first ever Stream Queens Con, which is a digital online convention, which hopefully is accessible to most people. And we always take criticism. But Stream Queens Con 2, as well as some of the newer conventions that we held, had closed captioning provided by Google Meet, so it was a little more accurate, and it provided like names and everything. It even did like slang, which was incredible. So we try really hard to like try to do what we can and like reduce like flashing lights and everything else. So, but we always take criticism, so give it to us, please.
Did I answer your question? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So before I ask my question, I just wanted to say that all of you are really flawless, and I envy your makeup skills. I wish I could do that, maybe in the future if I practice enough. So my question is, if you're in a rush, like a really big rush, what would be your go-to outfit, and I guess why? If you had a general idea.
There's a lot of dresses that I have that are like gowns, and they just zip. That's it. So those are always a go-to. Or like there's one-size-fit-all dresses that you just throw over your head and you're good to go. So I feel like those are like really easy things, and you can always rhinestone them or do whatever you want with those. How about you guys?
I want to tell you one of the best things about streaming on Twitch.tv and drag. You only need half an outfit. Up until this event, I didn't have a full outfit. So that's the best part, is it only takes a shirt, maybe a vest,
Right.
and that's it.
Does that answer your question?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
Hi. So I have a 4-year-old, I'm going to say boy today, because we haven't seen him today. He's in Sacramento, who daily like changes his gender. He's like, Mommy, I feel like a girl today. Mommy, I feel like a boy today. Every time I'm like, that's wonderful, sweetie. But with the pandemic, they kind of killed all the drag reading hours and all that other stuff. So I want to be able to give him access to, drag queens, kings, anybody. Any chance for a family-friendly stream?
Absolutely. Streamqueens.net. We are a team of drag artists. There are some that are like age restricted, and we do have that tagged on.
Yeah.
But if that isn't on, typically we're like family friendly. So
Okay, cool.
just browse through streamqueens.net.
Okay. He loves watching people play video games.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
Very
perfect.
cool.
I also think I'm on one of the committees for Stream Queens, and we love to throw all sorts of different kinds of events, so I can definitely bring that up and be like, hey, can we make something family friendly? Unfortunately, Twitch has decided that reading on stream is no longer permissible. So as much as I would
Dang,
love to read books, we could write our own books.
Wait, you said reading on
Little-
streaming?
little-
Yeah,
yeah.
like reading
Like reading a book.
yeah.
Wow, Nia Michelle's gonna be just fine.
We do have a stream queen named Rita Book, but I wouldn't go over there
Yeah.
for your 4-year-old. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
The first is the half question I had in the middle of the presentation. You said AFAB a couple times, and I'm not sure what that is.
Assigned female at birth.
Perfect. And then the full question. Do any of you use different pronouns when you're in full drag as to when you're in your regular life? And is that different than 10 years ago?
That's a really good question.
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah, I mean, I know some people that use he, they out of drag and then she, they in drag. But like for me, for example, I am AMAB, so assigned male at birth. And I started drag as like a gay man and then found out that I was definitely 110% more comfortable as a woman. So now I'm a woman who does drag, and so my pronouns are always she, they, as opposed to he, him, if that answers the question. Anyone else?
I think like it's definitely depends on everyone else. Everyone's different for sure, but for the most part, like I too like have. Actually, no. I kind of use any to be honest. Well, they, them, any for both, but I know a few people definitely do she, her when they're drag queen, and then he, him when they're not in drag. So it really depends. But for me, it's they, them, any.
Something that's also really interesting too is like whether or not you use your drag name like out on the street, just like, you know, trying to get groceries, not in face. Because like pronouns I mean, are obviously like a huge part of how people address you, but also like I go by Arson, like all of my friends know me as Arson. Like that's it. That's how I go by. And when someone's like, "Is that your real name?" I'm like, "Yes, it is." They're like, "It's on your birth certificate?" I'm like, "Yes, it is." So yeah, I mean, it's definitely different from person to person, and I actually don't know if I've ever asked, because I would consider all of these people my like friends, but I've never actually asked, because I call them by their drag names and their drag pronouns just like all the time. But a lot of these people I've only just met in person now, and I don't actually know if I've ever asked y'all like what name you would prefer me to use for you when you're like not dressed up, in part because I've only seen these folks dressed up because they've been in face literally all weekend. I don't know how you've done it.
Not me.
But even I would consider myself really close to these people, and I don't know some of that information. So like those are like some of the particulars that like go into just like existing. Isn't that wild?
I feel like that's like definitely an online phenomena too, just because we use usernames and then you kind of create like a different persona or personage. And in some ways that's kind of like a trans experience, just to make it relatable. Does that help?
Perfect. Thank you much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi. I was just gonna talk more about, you're talking about a little bit how this other TV show that we don't want to talk about, but like how that kind of show has kind of formed drag, where like only like the people that get on that show have, and that style have that huge platform, and that kind of in a way destroys like local drag artists, like their perspectives, and like they don't get as much support. So I was gonna ask you, is there any like local drag artists in general, or like POC drag artists that you want to shout out? Yeah.
Do we have time for a whole nother panel? Because we can go. You know?
Let me tell you, around here, because Arson and I are actually active. Well, Arson's active as a DJ in the drag scene here in Seattle. I am active as a performer. When I tell you we don't have that kind of time to shout out all the amazing POC drag artists and trans drag artists, we don't have that much
We
time.
can try.
I mean, there's the Noir show. There's a show called Noir.
There's Noir, there's Black Carousel.
There's
I'll shout out London Bradshaw and Aphasia Speaks on Stream Queens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's the Black Carousel show at the Unicorn every once in a while.
Yeah.
I know there's the Bronze Babes show that's happening at Queer Bar monthly, I think on Wednesdays. There's some really...
There's a lot of good POC artists out here. Unfortunately, not a lot of shows. Because we have like just those ones that we mentioned for Black drag artists. We have Bang the Gong for Asian drag artists. We have Leche for Latinx drag artists. That's it.
If you look at the cast of those shows, you're gonna find some of the most amazing performers here in the entire city of Seattle. So like literally it's like, yeah.
Afterwards, we'll talk. I can give you a whole list of them.
I'll take my
We got
I'll
you.
take notes.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Bring a paper, a pen, a sleeping bag, all the things. Bring some snacks, because I'm hungry.
I'll pack
So
my
yeah.
toothbrush.
Yes.
Anyway,
Thank
you so
you.
much.
Oh yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, everybody.
Hi.
So I promise I'm only clocking my own age when I say this, but I come from a place where allyship was you are either a gay or lesbian person. So in this new day and age where we have a total spectrum, we moved away from the binary. For my more seasoned queens and kings, did you find that transition hard from going from I am strictly this to more of a gray area of queerness?
Nope.
Oh, good.
Nope. Because I'm not even gonna lie about it. I'm confrontational. I know a lot of y'all know who Tyler Perry is. I'm like Medea. I'll swing first and ask questions later. I really don't care. Either you respect me or it's going to be a problem. You want respect? Fine. Give me respect. You don't use my proper pronouns. You don't respect my gender identity. You don't respect my space. So you don't respect me. So that means you want the smoke. That's what you're telling me. And for me, I'm probably more extreme than my cohorts here. But for me, my respect and my identity, I won't lie, it's worth the jail time for. Because yes, if I swing on you, I might catch a case. But for me, that's a small price to pay for you to remember you will not disrespect me. I don't go around disrespecting anybody, not intentionally anyway. We all make mistakes, and that's the biggest misconception about non-binary people, and I think we can agree on this.
I completely agree with you.
A mistake is a mistake. If you show that you're trying, you're gonna misgender me on accident. You're gonna immediately correct yourself, or I'm just gonna say one word to correct you, and then we're gonna move on with the conversation. Now, if I feel like you're purposely pushing my buttons, or you're purposely being disrespectful, you are purposely misgendering me, that means you wanna go outside and talk about this. And I'm not new to it, I'm true to it, so what's up? So for me, no, it was easy. This is what I am. Respect it.
Like more fish to water, just like, oh, we're going this way now?
Like, I found, like, it was powerful as a Black person being able to say, this is how the world views Black people. Hell, this is how Africans view Black Americans. I don't fit here. I don't care what you say, and I damn sure don't care what you think. This is what I am. Keep it cute. Keep it over here. Because you don't want me when I'm turned up. And it's been that way ever since. I can easily cut people off and just say, you know what, I'm checking up deuces, you can move to the left because I'm gonna stroll right past you. And sometimes I do that. But if I feel you want the problem, I'll give you what you want.
Can I add on to what you're saying here?
Oh, yeah.
I think a lot of it, for me personally anyway, comes down to like putting names to things that have existed for a really long time. Like gender variance, being gender nonconforming, being gender queer, being non-binary has existed in many forms across many cultures over a very, very long amount of time. We're just now arriving at this place culturally, like now, where like, especially like, like I can only speak from my perspective as someone who lives in the United States, like only now are we even beginning to scratch the surface of what that looks like language-wise. And so I think that's part of it, what it comes down to too, is like, all right, we're like, this is the word for it, and like, rolling with it, and maybe the world will change. I remember like, you know, when I was just coming out, like gender queer was what you called all of it. And I know people still like hold that as an identifier for some people, but a lot of people have also, you know, been like, actually, no, non-binary is a better word for it. And, you know, in about 10 or 15 years, maybe there will be another word that comes up for it that feels a little bit better. And it's just kind of fun to like be in a time where language around gender is just like moving. That's like cool. We get to like write our own history like right now. That's like awesome.
I think it's cool.
Everybody's like a little author. Do we get royalties?
Chelora's trying to get that ad revenue, that 55% split.
Is that a good answer?
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hi.
Hi, this question is for Hot Pink Shade.
Uh-oh.
Earlier you mentioned representation, that's very important to me. If there was one representation that you would want everyone here to look up and know, what would it be?
Ooh, you gonna make me think?
If you need to take some time and not answer this right now,
I'm gonna give
I'll
you
stick
an
around
answer.
for the
Don't worry
answer.
about it. I'm definitely gonna say Naomi Maldonado. She is the mother of ballroom. And like I said earlier, ballroom culture gave us drag culture and gay culture. If you want somebody to look up to, she may not be African American, at least not that I know of, or African Latina, or Afro Latina, excuse me. But Naomi Maldonado, look her up. If you want anyone to look up, look her up. See,
She's also just fun to
this is
follow
how you
on
know.
Twitter.
This is how you know.
That was like me, like when I was like growing up gay and like YouTube was in its early years. I remember watching Laomi do like dips and stuff,
Dips and stuff.
on like
Oh
the those like big like worldwide battles, and she's like so incredible. She's been that way for years and years and years.
Speaking of which, y'all do know it's called a dip and not a death drop, right? Oh, wow, I see a lot of confused faces. Okay, I'm a
lot
white
more
person up
syllables.
there. Yeah, there you go. I see you, boo.
I mean, we're just saving them work.
Huh?
Death drop is 2 words. Dip is just 1.
I swear for you know what? Did that help? All right, boo-boo.
Thank you. Hi.
Hi, first of all, you're all fabulous. I love you, okay? And I love your nails down there.
Oh,
and your dress. If I was skinny. And your legs.
Oh, thank you.
Hold on. Don't do that. Hold on, no, for real, no.
What?
Don't do that. You are worthy,
I
and
agree.
you could pull this off seamlessly.
Sure.
Screw what everyone else has to say. Nah.
I don't care what other people think.
Huh?
I don't care what other people think. I am who I am.
Oh, of course, but
It's how I feel comfortable in something.
well, let me let you know, boo. You are sickening, honey. You are flawless. You are beautiful. You are worthy. You are iconic.
Let her ask the question.
No, I used to be really thin, and it took me a while once I gained weight to be able to get back into shorts. So I am there. I'm just getting further there.
Totally.
But the question actually is linked to the fact that I have 3 kids. I've always told them I will love you no matter what you are, no matter who you are. You want to be a serial killer, I love you, but I'm turning you in.
Well,
You know, but I'll come visit you. You know. So my oldest is her father. She started out as a she. So her father was half Native American, and the other half, his mom was Mexican and white. So, you know, it was great to be able to get her to become part of her tribe from that side. She loves very much that she has that heritage. But then she came out as a he about 3 years ago, and it's hard going from the name Serenity to Drew. Not only because Drew is, it's still hard. He has been very chaotic with names because he writes as well. So I figured if he was going to choose a name, it would be something that other people would stop and say, well, what does that mean? But Drew is fine. It's normal. It's, you know, what he's comfortable with. And everyone around us has tried so hard to get there, to say Drew and he. And I no longer buy female clothes because I know. So my question to you is, how long did it take people in your life to fully get there, where it feels like they finally fully accept you because they're trying so hard? And how much did it affect you emotionally that people wouldn't get there? You know, it's a hard question. I
Can
know.
I grab this one?
That's a really great question, by the way.
Are we good with me grabbing that one?
Go for it.
Okay. So I came out as gay, and this was just baseline, you know what I mean? Just gay to my mom way back in like 2009, sorry, 20. And that was rough as it is. It was a lot of combat, and like, so I'm thankful that you're at least receptive. And then I came out as non-binary, and that was confusing and complicated, and she had like a lot of weird feedback, and it was like, it shouldn't be so combative, you know, and then I came out as trans, and she was like, ugh, another thing, you know? So I'm still kind of dealing with all that stuff, and I think that it sits right here forever if like that doesn't move, and if that information doesn't go back and forth, if that makes sense. Because like gender can be so complicated sometimes that we're like, oh, am I over here? Am I over there? Am I over here? Am I over there? And so if it's the same at home with parents, it just makes it your whole world is moving over here, moving over there, moving over here and over there. And I know that for cis people, it can be really complicated to understand what that looks like or how that feels. I can definitely talk to you more after the panel, but I don't have a good relationship with my mom, and as much as I would like to have one, or I hope that she wants to have one, I don't think it'll happen because we don't talk about it. I think talking about it and letting them express, like, how do you feel about that? And like, how do you feel about, like just talk to them, you know what I mean? Get them to talk about gender and how it makes them feel, because like those things can maybe help you understand where they're coming from. And the name thing definitely does, it's hard to stick, and I totally get that. It's just practice. I appreciate you.
Can I add something really fast? I would say, so as someone who uses they, them pronouns quite a bit, I would say 50% of the people in my life still haven't gotten there. It's about 7 years. So part of being someone who uses they, them pronouns is like, people are not gonna get it right, like straight up, like a lot of times, and like living with that is part of it. The one thing that makes a huge difference is when people don't make me feel like a burden for asking them to say it correctly. That's really the big thing for me. As long as people are trying and not making me feel like I'm the bad person for trying to get them to like refer to me correctly, we're all good.
Thank you. Sorry, that's our time. I'll get your question later. Thank you, everyone.
Do we have time to do?